and welcome to a TMC and TMC Net video interview. On my program is Ali Din, and he is with Premier BPO. How are you?
I'm good, doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing great, doing great. I mean, it's just one of the artifacts of the post-COVID life is that we're probably located geographically less than an hour away, but yet we still don't even think to ask and go to a live studio. Everything's done now via remote, which is kind of interesting, right, these days.
Yeah, things are definitely different and adjusted.
So you recently took a top position at Premier, and I was hoping you'd tell us a little bit about your role, what you're doing, and what drew you to the company.
Yeah, sure. So I've come from the channel. I spent about 20 years. I was at On Point Technologies and the partner and vendor relationships, and then moved over to Din Cloud, which is also an MSP, cloud services, and in a GM role. And then I actually ended up going to ADP, the payroll company, for a little while, and then over to Indeed. And so it was just kind of happenstance that I ended up speaking with someone from Premier, and they're like, we'd like you to come here and run the business. And so I dug into it, started having some conversations, and really found that what Premier is doing is really high value type services, and it has a really good global footprint, a lot of opportunity for growth. And that's kind of the next thing I was looking for, is really to take a business and take it to the next level and have that opportunity. So that's kind of what pulled me into the business.
And tell me more about the business for those people watching who don't know about it.
Yeah, so Premier has been around since 2004. Started out of Clarksville, Tennessee, so right by the Great Smoky Mountain National Park, and it's roughly, let's see, last quarter we just crossed over 700 employees globally. So we basically provide services right now mostly through a offshore model. So really trying to work through cost optimization for clients to provide services, both voice-based and also just data entry or non-voice-based services. So we're in Manila, Philippines, Shanghai, or outside of Shanghai, and China, and right in Lahore, Pakistan. And basically we've been doing different types of services, like vendor management for logistics. We've been doing services for MSPs and VARs, technical support, help desk, a lot of security work, especially during the pandemic. There was a lot of VPN support, firewall support, endpoint monitoring, things like that. And so that's kind of it. Just coming from that background, that's been an area we've been trying to focus on more.
That's exciting. And 700 people it's a significant number, right?
Yeah. It's at first it was just okay. It's going to be nice to come into a position and be able to drive the direction and the strategy for the company. But then the weight of 700 people's families, their lives, that kind of started to come to reality for me. And so I'm really focused actually now a lot on just our learning development and making sure that, as professionals, our team has a place where they can really develop their careers.
So it seems to me your company's positioned really well right now to help corporate America, because I've gotten back to traveling in the last few weeks, and I don't think I've found a restaurant yet that's fully staffed. And I talked to everyone I know about where these people are, why are they not working? And then I ran into an Uber driver in Vegas, and this is kind of anecdotal, but I'm wondering how often this happens. He was a sous chef in Minnesota, and 2 months earlier he left his job to go drive an Uber in Vegas, and he now makes more than 60,000 a year, which is what he made in Minneapolis. And he said that he's free, he can free up his time to see his kids at school, or if they have a play, or a sports event or something like that. So he's got a better quality of life. he's making a good amount of money, more than he was making in a skilled profession. I hope I'm not insulting Uber drivers by saying that. And so we're seeing turmoil right now. And so you can't hire, and in the US easily anyway. And
Mhm.
so how is that, number one, how is that affecting you in terms of new business, new customer acquisition? But on the flip side, what's it doing to you in terms of your own workforce and hiring them and keeping them?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good topic. So, everyone talks about the great resignation, but then there's also this great realization. And a lot of this is stuff that my former companies, ADP Research Institute and Indeed's Hiring Lab, had really dug into. And really, it's like you said, is people are saying, you know what, I'm not going to just work in a full-time position. I want to work a better work-life balance. I want to be able to work remotely. I want to do these different things. So it's really making it hard to both find people in the US and actually to retain them. So there's a big churn, and people keep looking for the next opportunity or more flexibility, especially when you get into the millennial age bracket. So for us, it's been fortunate for us as a business. We actually doubled our revenue over the last 12 months. So there's a lot of growth, and I think we were fortunate to be on that side of the pandemic, because a lot of businesses, and families had a very tough time. Uh, for us on our workforce side, it's actually beneficial. So when you look at the sites that, in the countries that we're in, we're actually helping employ people and giving them opportunities to support their families. And so I recently went, just starting new, I went out and toured our sites, and I spoke with individual people that are usually answering the phones or supporting our customers. And that's what I found out is a lot of people have, some tough circumstances, and they're using work at Premier to really help support their families and develop their careers. So we're able to attract people still, and have a pretty good job of being able to recruit and retain people, fortunately so far. I mean, some dynamics here and there, but overall we've been able to manage through it.
Great. So it's a win-win. I mean, it seems like you're like I said, you joined at the right time, and right place, right time, and you're going to help a lot of companies get through this, hopefully. So um, in terms of technology and the technological changes you're seeing, you mentioned your agents can call, there's chat, there are other technologies. How's that transforming the contact center space, and how you're helping your customers?
Yeah, it's been interesting. So, specifically around the MSP, the VAR space. So we, started engaging with a couple of companies, and they were having these troubles we've just spoken about with, attracting or retaining people. And so by outsourcing or, leveraging our team, they were actually able to focus on other aspects of their business. They saved money. And so they were able to invest back in the business, and they actually grew much stronger as a result of that. So from that perspective, I think it's been really good, for companies from that perspective. In terms of the overall, trends and things that we're seeing, we are seeing much more technology. People want. I think the biggest thing that companies are looking for is more. Better quality support, because that's really what's left is a differentiator. Everyone can go out and get a SaaS-based software and be able to support and have the capabilities. So it really turns to the level of service that you can offer people. And it's hard to staff and have a lot of people when costs are going up. So having a partner to turn to that can provide that service and provide multiple resources, 24/7 support and different languages, and multi-channel, omni-channel. I think that's really the trend we're seeing, and then coupling it with some automation tools and things like that, it really helps personalize the experience for the end customer.
And companies can burst the employees when they outsource, which is another benefit, right? They don't have to take on the full-time responsibility of the employee, and deal with all the benefits and everything else that the career path, et cetera. You outsource, and then let's say you have a busy season coming up, but you're not sure if it's going to continue. That's a great time to have an outsourcer as a partner, right?
Yeah, we have some customers in completely different industries which are very seasonal based. And so they'll be at a certain run rate throughout the year, and then they'll double, or in some cases 4x the number of people they need for a couple of months and then come down. And so for us to manage, like going back to, managing and helping develop professionals' careers, we try to look for multiple clients so that as one spikes and comes down, the next one goes up, and so people have a continuous opportunity with us.
No, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, because ultimately, at the end of the day, you're paying those salaries, right? Your customers aren't. And so, at least on a full-time basis, so you've got to find a way to utilize them so that you can also make your goals, your financial goals, and allow you to have good pricing to the market. So that makes a lot of sense. So what's next for the company?
So, one of the things I did learn at these big, global companies is the power of planning ahead and developing a strategy and looking multiple years ahead. So one of the first few things I've done is build a strategy team, stand up a strategy team. And so what we're doing is we're looking at near-term and long-term plans in terms of macroeconomic trends and what's happening, so that not only can we kind of drive our business today, but then 3 years from now, 5 years, even 10 years, what's happening in the world, so that we can start to prepare for it, and what geographies should we be in, or what type of skills do we need to develop. So that's kind of one of the key things that we're working on. We actually just are in the middle right now of what we call our first ever pitch fest. So we've recruited and we've asked the entire employee base to give us ideas and suggestions so that we can come up with, what the next thing could be. So stay tuned. We'll have more on that.
Wow, that's really exciting. So, wow. So in less than a month, you're going to be at MSP Expo. It's a show my company puts on, TMC, and you're going to be in booth 359 for those that are looking for you. What can people expect to see there? I imagine you're targeting the MSPs. How will you be helping them, and what sorts of discussions do you think you'll be having at the show?
I mean, a lot of it is some of the things I touched on is being able to help from a technical perspective. So there's, engineering resources that we can help augment, or in some cases, we actually are providing most of the bench strength for MSPs that are then focused on out there selling and relationship development. So there's a technical element of it, and I touched on like security side of things, mobile device management, things along those lines, even Microsoft Office 365 or OS licensing, technical issues. But then also on the front end, so we're helping, in some cases, we're helping actually develop business for MSPs and helping them reach out and identify opportunities, nurture them, and then hand them over to a sales team. So it runs the gamut. We're also doing back office operations, accounting, and HR type services just to help them manage their operational aspects. So any of those areas are places that we're hoping to have conversations and engage with the people that'll be in attendance.
Wow, that's exciting. Is there anything else I haven't asked that you'd like to share in terms of, maybe how someone can find you if they don't make it to the show? How do they find your website, etc.?
Yeah, sure. Thanks. So our website is premierbpo.com, Premier BPO, business process outsourcing. So that's the main site to reach us. Same thing on LinkedIn, we can be found, and myself, or our team can be available that way as well. I think we covered the big things. The labor shortage was definitely something that's very timely right now. And the things that I feel we really can help MSPs with is the things I spoke about, but really that dedicated team support. So we don't come to the table with like shared services. It's a dedicated person. Again, going back to that personalization element of things.
Well, thanks so much for your time. This has been great.
Thanks,
Take
Rich.
care.